So Viva,
Oh, hi.
you got him.
Yeah, I won. And what's
I
sort of
feel like
interesting
Walter
is
Mondale in 1984.
I don't really know what that means, but
What?
No one does. We'll just move on and pretend it didn't happen. All right, Viva, what do you think? What do you think about those two games?
Wheezy got it.
well, I said before that I didn't think I was going to win if I didn't draw the right cards, but honestly, I didn't really have that good of a draw on either thing. But I think I just got really lucky in my reading. I think I just guessed right a ton of times, which helped a lot.
What did you think of Grey's hand in each game? What were you thinking of his hands as you were playing?
When he named Troublesome Rhetoric, when he used Troublesome Rhetoric in the second game to name throws and then he 10-throwed, I think that's a pretty good giveaway that he has no throws left. Maybe I'm wrong, or that he has got like one 10-throw left.
That's not a dead giveaway. I guess I do that a lot. I'll call Troublesome Rhetoric with throws and then use a slow throw because I assume it's safe to use a slow throw because they probably won't throw. Although I didn't have any more throws in that case.
Okay. Let's
But
see
that
here.
time Viva's read was correct.
So, Grey, your hands in those games were not stellar, particularly the first one. I'm not sure really what to say beyond that. We were looking at each player's hand. We were saying Viva has an okay hand, and Grey's hand is just awful.
So
I have never hated aces more than I did in that first game. Never. Or jokers.
So your one king got dodged. Did your heart break when that happened?
Yep.
Yeah.
There
So
was
what
a point. Right, go ahead, Weezy.
So when you have a bad hand with the Grey, besides thinking I hate this game, what is your plan? Do you try and like slow play it or?
I try to usually I try to let them think I don't have any aces so that I can kind of safely block. But I had powered up, so he knew I had aces, so I knew that he would definitely want to throw. So when I have bad hands with DeGrey, usually I try to just block a lot, and people are like, oh, he doesn't have any aces, so I'm not afraid to attack against him. And that lets me build up enough to either actually draw the cards I need or trade in. But sometimes I just say that I hate this game.
Right.
There was a point in the end of that second game where Viva hit with you with a queen, and you jokered that. And we were somewhat confused. What was the thinking behind that?
Well, my strategy as of recently, which may be good, may be bad, is I basically have been only gold bursting really, really rarely, and because I think I've been misplaying jokers for my entire kind of Yomi career. So I save the joker for the last possible moment, and in that case, it was the last possible moment, as in I didn't think I was going to lose another combat before dying and getting to blue burst. That was why I used the joker there.
Okay. Viva, when he was knocked down in the end of the second game, you dodged. What was that about? We were
also flabbergasted.
Yeah, we were confused. Why wouldn't you just queen there?
Oh, let's see. I thought he was going to fast attack. But you're right that it might have been a mistake. He ended up blocking, right?
Right.
So in that case, it was better, I think. I just didn't want to
you don't miss the one
give him
damage?
cards. I kind of missed the one damage, but yeah, as is, I don't know. I was going with my read at that point that he didn't have any throws because he had just done that 10-throw play that I talked about earlier. And so
okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I thought dodge was completely safe, and so I might as well just go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Well, it
makes
worked
sense.
out. So no worries. We're not saying you're bad.
Do you guys have any other comments? I mean, we've asked you some questions. Do you have any comments on the games that you thought of during the games? What did you think of the games?
Well, first of all, I mean, I don't generally I really did hate my hand that first game, and I didn't have any remotely fast throws the second game. But Viva generally just has my number. I don't know how to beat him. I beat him once when he was playing Grave once, but I've never beaten Viva otherwise. So I think maybe part of that is just like mental on my part. You know, like maybe I'm sort of pseudo tilt even before I start playing a game against Viva. I don't know what it is. The other thing is that you know, I feel like kind of a noob because I was playing so many naked pile bunkers, but I just figured that with my hands and with the game, it was really my only chance of pulling anything out. Is that if I managed to guess right that he threw, then it would have brought the game basically back to even. Never really worked though.
Right. I mean, that's something that Water just talked about, is that if you feel like you're being outplayed or you're losing by a lot, you need to increase the variance. So by actually throwing those naked pile bunkers, you can throw a lot of variance into the thing. I mean, if it connects, you're in good shape.
And if it doesn't connect, well, you've been losing combats anyway, so what's the difference?
Yeah, exactly.
That's actually one of the reasons why I was using six throws so much. I poo-pooed six throws a while ago, back when I was worse at the game.
Yeah, we discussed that.
Yeah.
Now I think they're pretty much the best thing.
Who was telling you about how good six throws were, and you were like, no, they suck.
No, they suck.
What's fueled your change of heart on these six throws? How do you feel differently about them now?
Well, in this matchup specifically, it means that you don't ever get naked pile bunker if you're throwing with them, which is really nice. And you have a 7. And in general, what's really nice about them is that Jaina needs to hoard blocks. And it's really important not to ever run out of blocks, because if you do, then you're kind of stuck, because if your opponent gets a read on that, he's not going to let you recover your hand without, you know, either blocking a whole bunch of your attacks or by just dodging you and killing you. So, the six throw is nice because it's a throw that is not a block, basically. So you should use those instead of your actual blocks, because they're more valuable as blocks than as throws.
That makes sense.
And also, you do get to dump relatively useless cards like Jack and King, which you might not connect with in a real game, but then here they give you 4 damage a card, which is good.
Right, and I've taken to also pumping with any low normals if I have them. I used to like dodging a lot, but I think now it's better to just go for the damage.
Yeah, you didn't dodge much there at all, actually. I think a lot of people expect when they see Jaina that late game is going to look like lots of dodging with the 7 backup. Whereas this game, you really just sort of rushed that down.
I feel like this game, neither of those games even had any late game to them.
Yeah, well, they seemed atypical to me.
Yeah, you see, Jaina, this game ends her game with 39 cards in deck.
Yeah, it's, you know, I've been thinking about this matchup actually recently. I know, you know, Watered says that DeGrey versus DeGrey is like the swingiest, most high variance matchup. But in my experience, DeGrey versus Jaina it just swings everywhere. Like, I feel like the whole game just is gonna sit on how many 10s get drawn and a few good reads throughout the game. And I feel like it's at least as high variance as any other matchup.
I agree that there's a lot of variance in this matchup. I don't think it's as bad as DeGrey versus DeGrey, but I think it's pretty insane.
I play a lot of DeGrey versus DeGrey. It actually tends to go pretty predictably, and sometimes you clash pile bunkers, knocks both players down, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that sounds exciting.
And I guess the reason why I didn't really play more of a control Jaina in these matchups is because I thought my draws were, if not bad, definitely swinging me towards beating down. Because I didn't have any 7s or any 10s, and those are really the cards that let you play a control Jaina.
Yeah, and again, not getting a lot of 7s and 10s, and DeGrey not getting many kings sort of I feel these were atypical games for that reason. I mean, he did get a couple kings, but far fewer than you'd expect him to.
And they always seem to get dodged, so it was just bad luck on that.
Yeah, very sad. Very sad times.
All right, so any closing thoughts?
I think for me, what I take away from this is, well, yeah, I get bad hands, but I don't like to complain about bad hands. I feel like if you get bad hands, you should just try to block, because if you got bad cards in your hand, you got good cards in your deck, sort of thing. But I think my overall final thought is that I've played a lot of non-Viva Jainas recently, who aren't nearly as good, and I had been kind of trying to craft my strategy towards those players and not Viva, and I think I really paid for it.
Sorry,
How do you
say
think
someone was nearly as good as Viva? That's not true.
Thanks, Weezy. How do you think I differ in playstyle from other Jainas that have been playing you?
Other Jainas tend to buy back like everything, and they will tend to spam the queen more than you do. Like, you understand that when I know you have a queen, that there's this game, this mix-up going on. But I think that it takes a lot of games for people to really realize that, like, what does he know I have in my hand, sort of thing. And you really play that well, but I had sort of hoped that you would fall for a few of my dodges trying to spam queen more than you did.
Yeah, it actually seems like Viva actually plays, I guess I would say a more balanced form of Jaina, not really focusing too much on the spam, particularly because he really pushed that style a few months ago. And he seems to be moving away from that a little more towards a little more balance overall.
Well,
and
that
the
style,
other thing,
if you just block and block over and over and build up a huge hand, and then Jaina kills herself.
Right.
Yeah,
becomes
I mean,
dangerous.
I was playing against this guy the other day who would just he would just like every turn he would play a queen, and even if he hit me, he would play the queen, pump it, and buy back both cards, whatever the card was. So he was just dealing 13, but taking 7 every turn. So I was like, I'll do this for a while. I'm only going to have to win one combat at the end of the game. Another thing other Jainas do that I do remember really influences, other Jainas play king a lot more than you do. And so I figured my Jack would be a little more useful than it was, and that just sort of influenced a lot of things. I don't know if I ended up playing Jack that much, but that was what I was thinking.
Yeah, Viva didn't play the Jack at all. Sorry, Viva, were you saying something?
Oh, I was, but then I forgot.
Okay.
This is the best Jaina player, folks. Mine's like an iron trap.
It's natural to him. He doesn't even have to think about it.
Well, okay, I know what I was going to say. Yeah, I think I have been throwing a lot more lately as Jaina. Just I think because people tend to clam up nowadays versus Jaina players, probably because of I guess the tendency for people to just spam Q over and over and over again. So my throws, I think, even though they're kind of crappy and I don't really want to do them, I end up doing them just because in the current meta, they're a little bit stronger than they should be.
Yeah, you have to. Well, they're strong because of your good attacks, so...
Yeah, throws are what I fear in this matchup. I fear throws in this matchup much more than I fear a queen. I mean, if I get hit by a queen, I take 13 damage. If I get hit by a throw, I lose a block or an ace, and I get comboed into, like, a letter J or something like that. It's really much worse than the queen.